Is it still morning? It is not. I'm so used to saying good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Na, na, na,
Hey,
na.
Cindy.
Oh
I'm
shit! I
gonna
didn't
give
get
it
to
a
share this
second.
out.
Let everyone filter in. Whoever wants to come and actually speak, that is.
Yeah. And hello to anybody that watches on the replay.
Hey, replay.
Click the like for our blisters. Yes.
That's why I always try to read out the comments that I
Hmm.
put on the screen because it's really helpful for people on the replay. And
It
not
is.
only the replay, but for example, of course, we all know there was a live last night. And for a lot of it, I was driving.
Hmm.
So I was waiting to hear the comment because I'm not going to look down to read it while I'm driving.
No, don't you dare. Right.
Yeah, Pop didn't do that much, and I don't falter for it because I used to do it all the time too. And especially when you're conversing with someone, I
Yeah.
completely get it. But I was like, fuck, I can't read my phone
Yeah.
right now. Hey,
Hmm.
JJ.
Hey, JJ. Hey, M to the B. And
Hey,
you're right. That's why I
Michelle.
try to put as many comments as I can on the screen because even if, I don't know, stuff happens, at least on the replay, you'll be able to see most
Yep.
of the comments. Even if I don't get to read it, I try to click on every comment just so that it was on my screen at one time. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. Because some people go back and delete comments, and they can't delete you from the screen.
Exactly. Hey, Coins, how are you?
Hey, Coins, good to see you. All
We
right,
just
so
came
we're
back from
gonna
visiting
kind of.
Selena.
Oh, but
Sorry.
hold on, real quick. How's your diamond art going? Where are you at?
I'm on my third one now.
I knew it.
Yep, I started my third painting last night. I have to seal the second one, but yeah, I'm ordering some more. My son is ordering me a special pen, so I'm excited.
You're gonna have all the gadgets soon.
Yep, yep.
That's awesome, though. So yeah,
Yes, it
we're
is.
gonna start back on, where we finished off last week. We were mid live.
Yeah.
I listen. I know a lot of you know that there was a live last night, and of course, some shit went down, whatever. And I really I'm just over it. I could go in and pick apart shit that people said and do this and do that, but I'm not going to. The only thing I want to address is it was said, and it seems like this is the belief of a lot of people, that I was apparently unaware of what Popcorn said to and about Marissa's child. And
That
I
you
just,
were unaware. That
that
you were
I was
unaware.
unaware.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hey,
Okay.
Teresa. Mm-hmm.
Hey, girl. I find that really odd considering I have been sought after with that exact, you know, you said this, but Popcorn said, it's been approached to me so many times to the point where I finally addressed it in
Yeah.
a live.
Yes. I remember when you addressed it. And I know you've addressed it many times in comment sections, but then you finally addressed it live. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Hey, Selena.
You even asked that. You said, my Salinas. You even said that, Marissa asked for her name to be left out of stuff. And I agree. She's not around, she'll come in once every blue moon and she's asked to be left out of it. And out of respect, especially if you're friendly with her, you would think that you would honor that. You know what I mean? Like, don't weaponize her situation, especially when she's forgiven in that situation. Like, people were trying to weaponize Marissa with me when, I made a video, oh, what about Marissa? When I had addressed Marissa, and me and Marissa are good. Marissa apologized to me. That's all I wanted. You know what I mean? I didn't expect people to get on their knees and again, it's a whole different situation, but nobody can be mad at me for accepting an apology that was given to me in a situation that was about me. And the same with Marissa. You know what I mean? So it makes no sense. Are you doing it for her? No, I don't think so. I think you're doing it, you're weaponizing it
Yep.
against someone because, again, she's forgiven and moved on. She's asked for it to be left alone. So out of respect, and you
Exactly.
didn't do that.
And hey, health, wealth, and hope. Hey, Stanley
Hi,
Cup.
Health Wealth. Oh, and I wanted to say, sorry, Health Wealth and Hope. I did watch on the replay, and I saw. I don't know if JJ saw um your apology to JJ. So JJ, I don't know if you saw it in the chat. Maybe you didn't, but she apologized for the same thing we were guilty of, sitting in a chat.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I saw that comment, and like I saw it on the replay because I didn't finish watching all the popcorns, and I felt bad that I wasn't there to say, "Damn, Health Wealth, we understand, been there, done that." You know what I mean? We
Well,
understand.
that was the gist of, what I said to her because I was on panel and I told her I'd pass it along to you and JJ, and I did. Hey, After Dark. Hey,
Hi,
Pop.
After Dark. Hey, my Stanley Cup. Hey, popcorn. But yeah,
Have a good
so I
night.
wanted to just say that I saw that Health Wealth, and thank you for that. Cause and I think that I understand. You sat in the chat and you know, so yeah.
Yeah.
I can do
Well,
it for you, JJ. I'll check your block list and I'll unblock her if I'll go through it after this.
so it's just funny to me. Like, I've heard so many I won't call it excuses, I'll call it reasons why I'm constantly sought after to bring up that very specific situation, even though it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
But last night, hey, so last night was the first time I heard from Terry that she wasn't aware that I knew what Pop had said to Marissa. And I'm like, that's really funny because, like Pop said, me and her didn't know each other back then. And I remember that you guys, you know my memory, but I do remember that situation happening. And I couldn't remember, but I do know that I commented wherever Marissa shared it.
Right. Because you didn't know
Well,
Popcorn, but you know Marissa. You've been friends with Marissa for years. So you would know about the situation even if you didn't know Popcorn. Because again, you know Marissa, and Marissa, of course, was going to address it. So you knew about it. You know what I mean? And
I
there's
knew about it, and I think other
yeah,
people knew
that
that
you
I
knew.
knew
Uh-huh.
because I found it. I found the
Yes.
video and I
Yes,
found
you
my
did.
comment.
Yes, you did.
I'm telling you, needle in a haystack, but hi, sweet potato.
She could find needles in a haystack. Hi,
Hey,
sweet
sunshine.
potato. Hey, sunshine, my girl. Sorry, I get a
All
little
right, so I
excited.
know I know this comes up small on the screen, and I didn't look at the date, but this is like way over a year ago. I want to say this was almost
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago. So if you look, I'm going to zoom in before I read it. I got 8 likes on this comment, which is odd for me to have that in a comment section. So
Right,
I wished YouTube would show you who liked your comment, because I have a feeling some of the people who are now saying that they didn't know that I knew were liking that comment because they're
right,
all in the comment section. So when that
right.
situation happened, again, I did not know Popcorn. I did not know Jugs. Okay.
No.
So all I saw was what was said and how Marissa presented it. So I said, not many things shock me nowadays, but I had to pause your video for a few minutes after hearing what this person, see, I did not know her, has said
Right.
about your son and you. And in return, every autistic child slash mother, I had no idea that me having an autistic child was in some way some kind of punishment to me. Wow. Just fucking wow. If that ain't some cult, whatever, psychobabble BS. I'm not going to pretend to like any of the people you referred to. But this is so beyond disgusting and over the top. Over YouTube drama, Marissa, I know your personhood. Whether someone thinks differently of you is none of my business, and I don't give a fuck. You're an amazing mother, and I hope you know that. You are one of the strongest women out here. I know that, but please be careful. There seems to be absolutely no boundaries with that whole situation, and that scares me for you. Stay safe, girl. I also said, I just have to say, I do not agree with any of the doxing going on from either side. I also
Right.
absolutely understand the sentiment, though. Come for my kids, and the rule book goes out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just wish I could see the 8 people that liked it. That frustrates me.
I know. It is
because I'm
frustrating.
curious. So yes, hey Claire, good to see you.
Hey, Claire. And hi, everybody
So
that I missed.
I'm just happy that I found that. I was very aware. I was always against it. So the people that keep going on with you were okay with, well, no, never was, not from the jump.
Right.
All right. And I just wanted to show that. That's it.
And Marissa
I
is a
We
good
could
one.
go into other stuff. Like I could,
Hmm.
like I said, I could pick apart and
Yeah.
bring up shit that people said last night. That's not true. Although
Right.
I did share the short. I don't even think I told you this, Cindy. Did you hear? I don't know that I want to go into this, but
Mm.
someone said that they didn't say something that I absolutely know that they did say because
Yes.
you had read it. It was a community post, and you
Yes.
had read it in a dramatical way that I thought was funny, and I made it
Hmm.
into a short. So I was
Yep.
told last night to find this proof and make it into a short. Well, I already fucking did when it happened.
You did months ago, and it's on your shorts because I went last night through your shorts and I found it. It's when I was on your panel.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I
So
read it.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the rewriting of history. And
Yep.
whenever something is like readily available that I could show, I'm always going to show it.
Yep.
I'm just
And I think
tired
I
of the
still have a
lies.
screenshot of it, of that community post, because I had to read it from my screenshots on my phone. So if somebody needs to see what I was reading, and that's not proof. She didn't show what she was reading. I'm sure I can dig it up if you want me to put it on my community post. I don't think I have to go there, but if, whatever, you know, I
Well,
can do
there's
that.
no way that the way you read that you would just be making that up off the top of your head.
Yeah, no way. No way.
Hey,
Hey,
Sophie.
Sophie, you owe me a soda, girl. Thank you.
All right, so JJ said, I never knew that was even said and did not even know popcorn at the time. She apologized before I even knew it happened. Popcorn
Mhm.
did wrong, but she sincerely apologized and has done nothing since, for fuck's sake.
And she
Well, that's the
genuinely
thing.
apologized. It bothered her because
Well, a
she
lot of
stood
us
for
have.
it.
A lot
Hmm.
of us have genuinely apologized and have taken accountability for shit. But like I
Yes.
said before, it's never good enough. It'll never be good
Nope.
enough.
Nope. I
Hey,
was even saying
Sassy.
last night in the chat that what I'm guilty of is sitting in a chat of people that are degenerates. And I apologize. And I've been apologizing for over a year, nearly 2 years now. I've been apologizing for that and made amends to people that were owed them, So I don't understand how it's still being held over our heads when that's what people bring things up for, usually, for you to be accountable and take accountability. But what do they expect after that? Okay, usually the purpose is, hey, take accountability for what you've done. We've done that. So what now? What now? It's just a talking point now, and it's sickening because it goes back and forth. We could keep doing that, tit for tat. Okay, well, what about when you did this? Okay, well, what about when you did this? Okay, but you did that. Okay, but yeah, but then remember when you did this? That doesn't resolve anything. It's just finger pointing, and that's what kids do. When you're in elementary school and you get in trouble, and then you start saying, you deflect. Oh, well, you know what? He stole my pencil last week. When you got caught doing something, it's stupid, and it's just talking in circles, and it never goes anywhere. It's pointless, in my opinion. And
I
you should.
agree, and that's why I'm not going to go any further into it because that's all I would be doing.
Sue Elliott, if you have IG, you could get a hold of me on IG. My IG, sorry,
I put
boo,
it in there.
is
No, I just dropped the link for
okay.
her.
Okay, thank you. That's my IG, Sue Elliott. You can reach me through there. And hey, Sassy, yeah, you can definitely reach me through IG, Mama. And
So yeah,
one more thing before we start talking. I don't
yeah,
want to put anything out, but if we could all say a prayer for Corn's mom, please, and thank you, I would appreciate that.
yes, yes.
Please, she needs some prayers right now. So,
Claire says agenda. They use it for their own agenda to sell a warped narrative because it's all they have, a true narcissistic trait. I love that you just said that
Oh,
because
that's what we're
that is,
segueing into.
yeah, that is a segue because after we're done reacting to this stream that we left off on,
Mm-hmm.
we are going into the world of narcissism. And
Yep.
before we even get there, I am not a fucking expert. I have just went down a rabbit hole the past couple weeks, and we're just going to learn together. That's all it is.
Yep. And you're
And you're
right,
right,
JJ.
Claire.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what we're guilty of. Beginning and end. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. No real
Yeah, it
writing,
just
no
keeps being
plotting,
said that
nothing.
like we're guilty of all this nasty shit. I think I've asked quite a few times last night, like, what what nasty shit are you referring to that I've done?
Hmm.
Because I haven't.
It's assumptions, assuming that we knew things that we didn't know, that we were in on things that we were not a part of. And that's what happens when you assume. Being in the chat and having a wrench again was the extent of my crimes. And I again have apologized for that. Hi, Moby. So good
Hey,
to see you.
Moby.
Health,
Thanks
I
for
will
coming.
accept your request after this live. If I can't click into my IG right now because it'll kick me out of StreamYard. But as soon as this live is over, I will accept your um request to send me a message, Mama.
And yes, Claire, and I'm not saying that we're gonna get in. Listen, this is gonna be a long one. Like we'll probably stretch this live one for the next couple lives,
Mhm.
because it's a lot. And I
Yeah.
think people need to understand narcissism, need to know the different, like there's different types of narcissist. So we're going to be like
Mhm.
starting from the beginning and going down, and then we are going to, I have a video where they talk about like how to deal with narcissistic people in your life.
Mhm.
So we'll eventually get to all that, definitely.
And again, it's us trying to learn too. We're not experts. We don't play experts on YouTube. We're trying to learn as well. So, yeah,
Well,
we did, JJ.
what's the saying? Like imitation.
Is the best form of flattery.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Hmm. Okay,
Okay.
Sue Elliott, as soon as the live is over, I promise I will accept it. I promise.
But yeah, it's all about agenda, and
Hmm.
people hear what they want to hear to
Yep.
fit their agenda. They see what they want to see to fit their agenda, and then you couple in the assumptions, and then it warps your memory because now you're going to remember only what you want to remember to fit your agenda. So
Hmm.
that's why I
And
showed what I
that's a
did,
slippery
because that
slope.
agenda was wrong. That assumption was wrong. It was all wrong. And I feel like some people were well aware of that
Yeah,
comment.
yeah, I agree. How could you not be? There's just, you can't. Some people do assume that on YouTube everybody sees everything, everybody knows everything, when that is definitely not the case. But in this situation, I think it was very obvious where you stood in that situation. You've spoken about it publicly on panels. So I don't understand how it could be made to seem that people were led to believe that you were unaware of it and they were just bringing it to your attention. When I've seen the comments, and in my opinion, that is not what was being done. You were being interrogated. It was not just trying to make you aware of something. It was very different. It was badgering you. It was very confrontational, very aggressive, and that's just my opinion. And you get a lot more with honey than with vinegar. So,
I just, like I
especially with
said, the
those.
rewriting of history and the lies, I just, no, never. Especially when it's so easy to prove.
Happy birthday, George. Damn it, you got me first.
Where's George? I don't see
He's,
George.
he's right under Moby.
Oh, it just popped up. Hey, George.
He got me first. Damn it, George.
And yeah, and JJ's right. She said some people have to answer to every single thing said. They answer when no one is even speaking on them. It's very childish. Yeah. And I won't do that anymore. I ain't gonna
Right?
answer
Who you
a
fighting
lot of
with?
stuff
Who you
anymore. I
fighting
don't fucking
with?
care.
Girl, that's what I scratch my head. I'm like, who are they fighting with? We're not even saying anything. Like, who are you? You're doing streams, acting like you're responding to something I said. I haven't said a word. Like, who are you legitimately? Who are you fighting with? Like, what the fuck? It's weird to me. I don't understand. Now, if I come and I say something and you're responding, which is everybody's right, but to come on a 10 on a live, like I just did a live or a community post or even a comment in a chat that fired you up, but I have said zilch. Like, what? We haven't
Yeah.
said anything. And they're doing stream after stream after stream, fired up about what? You fucking weirdos. Sorry, let me shut up. Okay, go ahead, Bliss. Cause
Oh, Claire, I'm with you there. I'm with you, but sometimes you just have to address the motherfucker.
yes,
Sometimes you do.
yes, yep.
I won't say their names though. They'll
No,
continue. My name will continue to come out of their fucking mouth, and it hasn't stopped.
nope, it hasn't stopped. And I'm the crackhead who doesn't smoke crack. What the hell? At least get the drug right. God damn it, can you at least get the drug right? Hey, my Stanley comes.
They do. It's like
Yes.
again, I've said this to Cindy. It's like a paranoia mixed with like, I'm going to get them before they get me, you know?
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna argue with
I
myself
know, I'm
and
well
people are gonna
aware.
think I'm arguing with them. What the fuck? That's crazy. Oh
Very
my
well
god.
aware. That's actually one of the most dangerous. You know how when they talk about like women who leave ABUS IV men, and like
Uh-huh.
that's one of the scariest times. Well, that
Yep.
is one of the scariest times when the narcissist finally realizes that you fucking
Yep.
know, and you can't be
Yep.
controlled anymore. That is when they lash out the most and the smear campaign starts. Yeah, we'll get into
Mm-hmm.
all that.
Yes, that's when it starts. It's crazy. It's crazy. Nobody is arguing with them. It is strange. And people are noticing it except for the circle jerk of people, of degenerates. They're the only ones holding hands in a fucking bonfire, powdering each other's asses. Everybody else is scratching their heads like, what is happening here? Keep
It's
doing
all
it.
they
Yeah.
have.
Yes. It's comical. I
Bless
don't know what they're
bless
doing.
their hearts.
Yeah, pobrecitos. Exactly.
All right, so let's finish this one up.
Hmm.
Come on, streamer. Again, this is Alana Glaser, and it's what to do when people don't like you.
I
And I
tell them
will
fuck
drop
you and
the
ignore
link.
them. That's
Yeah,
what I do.
pretty much. I mean, that's where I'm at nowadays.
For real.
StreamYard don't like me. There we go. All right, let me make sure the settings are
Well, just
good.
my
Yep,
Wi-Fi hates me,
yep.
so
Yeah, your Wi-Fi. It's okay when we're on live usually, for the most part.
now, but when we were on the
Well, maybe
phone,
not.
right?
I know. What the hell?
Shit.
All right, come on, mouse. My little cursor keeps disappearing because like it glitches because of StreamYard. All right,
Hmm.
hold on. I gotta read this. Hold on. I'm trying to get over to click on it, Claire. Hold on. And yes, Stanley, if someone doesn't like me, that's a them problem. I don't give a fuck. That's where
Yep.
I've been at for a while. Claire says, and you know that just being in this chat will be some kind of criminal offense to some people. It's totally ridiculous and downright childish.
I know Claire's not allowed to be in a chat. We're not allowed to be in after, Dark's chat or even like, say that we enjoy their channel and like who do these people think they are? Like seriously. It's the weirdest thing. Why are you watching so hard? Hey Kratos, your hubby
Hey,
just came
honey.
in. It's weird, man.
Uh,
Leave Claire the
it's
hell
weirdo
alone.
shit.
Yeah. I watch her too from the bushes. Just not to, I swear to God, I watch them all from the bushes. I'm like, Lord, let me not go in the chat and start a freaking World War III. Like, because people were not well. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, I bet you, I mean, you see a lot of people watch me from the bushes, and like Claire said, like you will be labeled. a troll. It will be a criminal offense. So I just hope everyone's aware of that if you chat in my chat. And if you don't, I respect it because I understand not wanting to be in the middle of these crazy people's fucking webs. So
And
I get it.
sadly, Moby, you're right. She said I disappeared from Twitter and everywhere, and it didn't stop anything. So I came back to Twitter, and sadly, that's how it's always like that. It doesn't matter. It's crazy. They act like they're fighting with you, but even if you remove yourself from the equation, they're still gonna fight with you. So it's a them problem because it really has nothing to do with you. You're just the person at that moment that they're fixated on, but it is a character defect, a serious, deep character defect within themselves. That obsessiveness is not normal. To obsess over people that have said, "Hey, I'm not even paying attention to you." It's weird. It's weird. It's crazy, insane.
I mean, again, it shows who they are more than it shows anything about. If anything, well, actually, us not responding shows a lot too, because no response is a response.
True.
All right, let's hear what Alana has to say.
Okie dokie.
Nobody. But I was included. I was included. I was like, I could feel that I wasn't liked, and my coworker wasn't liked, my other coworker wasn't liked. There's been times in my life where I felt like other people did not like me. For one reason or another. I've had family members not like me for my political opinions and my political beliefs and who I'm voting for this year. It's endless, you guys. And the sooner you can deal with this problem, the sooner you can tackle this problem head on, like a bull, like a Taurus, because I'm part Taurus, you guys. But anyways, the sooner you tackle this problem, the more peaceful life is going to be. And my life is way more peaceful now. So I'd like to share this peace with you, this peace that I've cultivated, and share with you how I was able to get here. And how I was, oh my God, I made a mess all over my art table. Sorry, I'm not trying to distract you, but I did. Anyways, some people don't like me because I am too spacey. I have ADD. I was clinically diagnosed, by the way. I am clinically diagnosed with ADD, but some people...
All right. My shit is just acting so slow. I'm sorry it keeps glitching like that, y'all. Isn't she so pretty, Cindy? I keep looking at her because, her face is right up in the camera. She's just so pretty. She's beautiful. Sorry, that's not commentary at all. That's just an observation.
I know, I saw that, JJ. I just saw that. And that made me so happy. I just saw that literally.
Where did that happen?
On a community tab. Yep.
Nice.
And that makes me happy. That makes me happy. Seriously.
Hey, where you can squash beefs.
Yeah.
Gives everyone peace all around. But some people like the constant drama, so they don't want peace.
Right.
People don't like people who are neurodivergent. I noticed that. Some people want people who act normal, who act like everybody else. I'm not here to hate on this. I'm here to give you my advice. So without further ado, here is how you get past this problem of people don't like me and it's bothering my heart and soul. It's kind of simple, but you have to pick. You have to choose. You have to make a decision. You have to choose between other people's opinions and your life, your dreams, your goals, and your own approval. That's your choice. You can't appease both. You will never be able to appease every person in the world. Never. Because one person's going to want you to be a lawyer. The next person's going to want you to be a doctor. The next person's going to want you to work at Circle K for the rest of your life so you don't upshow them, so you don't do better than them. The next person doesn't give a crap about what you do, but they just want you to stay out of their city for whatever reason, or stay out of their town, or stay out of blah, blah, blah. There is billions of people in the world. You will never, ever, 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 ever be able to appease every single one of those people. You'd be lucky if you can fully appease one person in your life. In my opinion, the best one person to appease in your life is yourself. That's the best person. Because people.
That could not be a true statement.
Yeah, because
I mean, I spent a long time being a people pleaser. And I'm talking about like in my personal family stuff, like spent a long time just being a fucking people pleasing doormat. And I'm finally putting up boundaries now. And it is like the end of the fucking world.
Yeah, me too.
So,
I was always a doormat too, and because I was taught that as a kid, not to defend. It's a weird dynamic. At home, I wasn't supposed to defend myself, but outside, I was supposed to defend myself, with my mom. So I was a doormat for a long time, and I refused to do that. I still pick my battles, and right now, all of the battles on YouTube are not worth fighting anymore. Really, really not, because the people are not even worth my time. You know what I mean? So, and I have to live with myself.
And there's no speaking, you guys, again, when we delve into the narcissist stuff, you are going to understand there is no conversation that could be had with these kinds of people. It's not possible. Hey, money swipers.
Yeah. Hey, money swipers, my girl. You know why? Because people who can't recognize that they've done anything wrong, there's no conversation to be had, because usually there's a give and take, right? And we're very aware of our flaws. We're very aware of where we've fallen short, mistakes we've made. But if you're conversating or trying to conversate with somebody who won't even take the first step in acknowledging that they have a problem or they've made a mistake, that puts up a wall. There's no way to penetrate that wall, and it's not even worth trying. It's like literally talking to a wall. And I'm not trying to go there anymore. It's not worth my time at all.
And if you even start to break through that wall, another one goes directly up. The goalpost is moved. They move on to something else. There's just it's a never ending cycle, and it only hurts yourself in the end.
And it's worse when you're dealing with a narcissist who's also a liar. Like
yes.
Man, listen, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yep.
Because people come and go, and I'm sure you know this. I'm sure if you found this video, you're old enough to understand English, understand what I'm saying, and I'm sure you've seen lots of people come and go in your life. And sometimes, if you're trying to appease people and you spend all your time and effort trying to appease all these people in the outside world, what happens when they're gone? What happens when their opinion changes? What happens when that one person that you were taking notes from, they told you to go be a doctor, 6 years later, they changed their mind. Now they don't want you to be a doctor. Now they want you to do something else. What are you going to do then? This is going to be, and I wish I could send this video to my younger self, this will be a long-term problem that you deal with until you deal with it. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but if you are a people pleaser, you struggle with trying to appease everybody, or struggle with trying to find everybody in the world to like you, and you're not being your authentic self because you have to keep putting a different mask on with every single person you come into contact with, you're not going to achieve your goals. Because how can you try to appease the 9 billion people in the world, do everything that these 9 billion other people want you to do, and do what you want to do? You don't have enough time in the day. Like, I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't have enough time in the day, you don't have enough time in your life to try to appease 9 billion plus people and yourself. You're going to come into contact with conflicting opinions. One person's going to say, you should go to school for 10 years to be a doctor. Another person's going to say that that's stupid. You should go start a business. And another person's going to say, you're an idiot. If you stay in the USA, you got to move out right now. Move out right now. And another person's going to say, what are you, an idiot? You live in the USA. You're in the best country in the freaking world. How are you not happy now? Those are just four people, 4 opinions that are very common and prevalent that I've seen over and over and over again. You can't do all 4. You can't rip your body in half, have one half live in the USA and the other half go live in Brazil until someone else tells you Brazil sucks. You gotta go live somewhere else. Basically, what I'm saying is, are you going to spend your entire life listening to other people? Or are you going to spend your entire life, or whatever you have left of it, appeasing and pleasing yourself? And I don't mean this in like a narcissistic way. I don't mean like go do bad deeds to appease yourself. I mean, what's going to make you happy? Nobody can tell you that besides you. I can't even tell you. I can't tell you, you know what? I think you'd love to be a doctor. I can't tell you that, and nobody can. You
Hey, Roddy. And yeah, you have one life. And that's why I'm not even watching anymore. Like, I refuse to ever waste my time on people like that again. Also, that doesn't mean that certain things, can't be addressed every now and then, but I am not dedicating energy to it.
you have to be the one person who you take guidance from. I know that makes you feel like a ship lost at sea, but it's a lot better trying to just appease your own soul, do what feels right for you, than do what all these other people say they want you to do. For them to either turn around and not care, their opinions really don't mean much. It's not like they're paying your rent. Some people might be. Most people aren't, though. Large majority of people are not paying your rent. Maybe your boss is paying your rent, but surprise, surprise, if you hate your freaking job, you can go find another boss. You can go find another job. You can find something that brings you passion and joy, and that boss can pay your rent. There's a whole lot of ways to make money out there, you guys. You don't need to stay with one boss or one partner or one best friend if they're hurting your feelings all the time. You can if you want.
Now, I will say, I love this video, but it's so more convoluted in that. Like, I wish it was that
Yeah,
easy for
it's
people to
deeper
walk
than that.
away from some of these people, but when you add in like life elements, like a house and kids and whatever, like it's not as easy as just saying, "Oh, this isn't pleasing me. I'm walking away now." Like, you have other things to think about.
And I think that, sorry, excuse me. I think that she's focusing too much on external forces when it begins and ends with us, right? You can't look to other people um to decide what will work for your life. Like I wouldn't look to somebody else and say, "Hey, what do you think I should, go to school for as a career? Do you think, you know what I mean? That's something that has to register within you. You have to, and that's where it comes into play to get to know who you are as a person, what your interests are, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, what are your goals. You know what I mean? Like, I never wanted to be a doctor. Never. Never wanted to be a lawyer. Those weren't my aspirations. Sorry, excuse me, even as a kid. But I knew that. So somebody telling me, yeah, you need to go to law school, I'm gonna look at them like they have three heads. That's not my interest. You know what I mean? So and putting it on, she's putting it in such simplistic terms, but it goes so much deeper than that. And it again, you can't look for the answers of your life. And so, and my God, sorry, excuse me. The answers are not going to be given to you by somebody else because they don't know. Oh my God, they can't define who you are, if that makes sense, if I'm
They
making any
can't,
sense.
Cindy, that they can't even define themselves. I mean,
Right.
that's why these narcissistic people keep doing what they're doing, because they're insecure with themselves. They depend on the validation from a lot of other people to feed them. That's why those kinds of people will never be happy.
No, and like relationships, any relationships, it's about companionship. It's about if you're looking to somebody to complete you or to fill a void, you're you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be disappointed. You know what I mean? You can't have those unrealistic expectations. If you feel a void or you feel some sort of emptiness and you think that somebody else is gonna be able to fill that, that is something you have to fill within yourself. And it may take a lifetime to realize that. You know what I mean? And that is just, in my opinion, the reality of it. Hey, Chronic.
Hey, Chronic. And yep, maybe that's the narc supply. And
Yeah.
when you stop feeding them, that's why you'll see a lot with these people. The first sign of any opposing, even respectful criticism, you're out the
Mm-hmm.
fucking door.
Yeah. You're the
Ain't gonna
enemy.
have that. You're either gonna
You're the
kiss their
enemy.
fucking ass 24/7, or you ain't gonna be there.
Yep.
I don't even kiss my husband's ass 24/7, okay? Like, you
No.
can't, that's not
No.
possible.
No. And who wants that kind of a person? I don't want somebody to tell me yes every minute. I don't want a Stepford wife. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, No, I don't want that. So it makes no sense. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I do agree with what she's saying. I'm just saying it's not
Yeah, yeah.
as simply put as that.
I agree. I agree 100%. Yes.
Want to, but you don't have to. And what I've learned over the years and by being on YouTube is that not everybody likes me. And in fact, it seems like more than half of people they're not obsessed with me, you know? And that's okay. It is okay that people aren't obsessed with me. It is. But what I think is important is how you deal with the fact that somebody doesn't like you. Short, sweet, to the point, keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Focus on yourself. Focus on your life. Focus on the things you enjoy. Go play Fortnite. Go make an art studio somewhere. Buy paint. Start painting something. Make a really hideous painting and be like, what the heck did I just do? Go read some manga. Like,
Do diamond art. Dedicate time to your family. Do research and rabbit holes on things that, feeds you and that you enjoy.
Yep. Mhm. Do
I mean,
stuff that stimulates.
that's all this is about.
Mhm.
These lives, I'm just going to talk about stuff that interests me and all the stupid little rabbit holes I go down, because I go down a lot. And I'm allowed to correlate that to what's happened in my life. And if that upsets people, sorry, it's not your life. I mean, I can speak on stuff. I'm really going to try again to keep it general and not be super specific, but I will still continue to speak on situations and shit that has happened. And sorry, not sorry if that hurts your feels.
You have the right to do that. And again, you're picking and choosing what you respond to when other people are dragging it on over and over and over and over and over again, fighting with themselves. Nobody can tell you you don't have the right to respond to anything you want. The freak. Yeah.
Hey, Jen and Barrett.
Hey, Jim and Bear, my sweet friend.
you've got a trillion, gazillion possibilities to do with yourself. You've got trillions of possibilities that you could do with yourself instead of focusing and spending all your time and energy and attention focusing on that one person who does not like you. They could be jealous, they could be insecure, I don't know. They could just be sad and miserable and trying to get another person to be sad and miserable with them. Sometimes people bully people because, if you might know, bullies are often very insecure and sad and miserable themselves, and they bully people because they're trying to bring other people down to their miserable level. That's what it is. Like, that's what it is. They're miserable. They see you happy or happier than them. You might not be happy, but you could be happier than them, and they don't like that. So they're trying to bring you down to that miserable level that they're riding on.
Fucking bazinga. Exactly that. That's all it is.
Yeah.
No way
That,
these people are happy in their real lives.
no.
I don't even think some of these people have real lives. I think YouTube is all they have. It's sad.
I agree. I agree because anybody that is like she said, there may be parts of your life that are not completely and utterly happy. Like, you may wish you had more money or whatever. But somebody who's inherently like in their soul is a happy person, like wakes up happy, you don't set out to do the things that miserable people do online. Like you just don't. You know what I mean? You don't wake up and say, "Oh my God, who can I fuck with today?" You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. It's weird. I don't set out to do that. I don't like to watch stuff that's not gonna bring me joy. I avoid it. That's why I don't watch any of that. I don't watch a second of any of their bullshit. I don't. I get little, Cliff Note versions when people DM me thinking, there's something I need to know. That's it. I don't need to know.
I mean, same. And even that is limited because I won't watch anymore. So even if someone sends me a clip, I'm not going to watch it. If you
No.
put a little caption underneath
Right.
of the
I'm
clip
gonna
and
read the
sum up what
caption.
happened,
Yes.
I will read it. But I
Same.
feel like listening it's more
Mhm.
likely to invoke a reaction out of me, and I don't want to
Yes.
give anyone a reaction.
Exactly. And it's about being self-aware. It's about having self-awareness to know that if I listen to it, if I engage in, even hearing it, I'm going to come and I'm going to react. I may do a live, I may do a community post. So I have to be responsible for myself, right? Because I can't come and lose my shit and say the worst of the worst things and then say, well, I was angry. You have to be in control of yourself. You know what I mean? That's all you can control is yourself. You can't control anything else or anyone else.
Yeah, that's what I
And
was
it
trying to
is.
say last night too. And again, lower the expectations, because you can't put expectations on really anyone, but especially these kinds of people.
True. And their expectations of you are unrealistic. And it's always the worst people that have the highest expectations for others and
Hmm.
none for themselves because they do the worst of the worst shit and then want to, like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, they are a case study in themselves. You know what I mean? They want to call out all the bad behavior when they are the bad behavior personified in human form. Like, what are we even talking about here? It's insane to me.
And Pork Chop's right. A lot of it is just straight up made up fucking lies.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
will
Almost
never
all of
go
it.
back and forth with a liar ever again. I learned my lesson a couple months ago.
No, there's no point. And the truth needs no further explanation. Lies do. Lies do. When
Mm.
people are over explaining and feel like they have to keep repeating the same bullshit. Okay, we heard you the first time. Like, who are you fighting with? You know what I mean? They're trying to convince themselves. You see liars, they repeat their lies over and over because they're not just trying to convince you, they're trying to convince themselves and hoping that in convincing themselves, they are somehow convincing you. But
Yep.
liars have patterns and they don't change. Liars are liars. Punto y final.
They're also really good actors, though. Really
Yep.
good fucking actors. And I will fully admit I fell for some shit that I shouldn't
Hmm.
have. But, hindsight.
Yep. Hindsight is 2020, girl. True.
Mhm.
Go live your life. Go live your life. That's it. Stop focusing on them. Do what you love. Do what you enjoy. Like right now, what I would enjoy is for all these oil pastels to go back into this container because our cats, they came and ran through here and they ran across and they dumped all these. What would bring me joy right now is putting all the colors back where they're supposed to be. I know it's not groundbreaking, you guys. I'm not about to go skydiving, but that would
Let me just tell y'all, us ADHD people, we love little shit like that. I mean, it's going to take me forever to get to the point to actually do it, but once you start, like, you are in the fucking zone. I know some won't understand that, though.
Yeah.
And yep, movie, the story is added to each time it's told, another narc trait. There's so many
Oh.
narcissistic traits, but uh, it's easy to spot because a lot of them, like, it's across the board. Like, they all do it.
Yeah. It's universal, right? A lot of it is universal. They all have the same behaviors. Hmm.
Now, some aren't as intelligent, but I feel like around here, they're learning from the best.
True.
So,
Hmm.
you know.
that would bring me more joy than focusing on people who have hurt me, called me mean names, tried to bring me down to their level. Seriously, you guys, this brings me more joy than them. So why not focus on the things that bring you joy? Just like I'm gonna focus on the things that bring me joy. Actually, before this video is over, because I'm about to end it soon, I'm gonna show you something. I'm in the garage right now, so I gotta walk out. I'm gonna show you something that, as of the last 2 days, has been bringing me a crap ton of joy. Like, I am so happy we have this. Oh, the lighting. Ooh, I gotta fix the lighting. Ah, oh my god. Okay. Ah. Okay. So, anyways, Wow, I did not fix the lighting, you guys. I thought I did. It turns out I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna fix it. Okay, it's horrible. I'm sorry. Okay, so here's this grapevine. This, as of yesterday, I tried it for the first time yesterday. These, they're so perfect. They're so sweet. They're so sour. They're like a Sour Patch Kid, but in like fruit form. Ooh, that one's bruised. Thank you guys for showing me that, because I only saw because of the camera. But I've been picking at this grapevine, and oh my god, well, I tell you guys, I am in absolute heaven right now. They're like Sour Patch Kid grapes. Like,
I just love that. And I know that's so stupid to watch, like, but I love it. Like, that's what I've been doing. Like, my back deck is like my sanctuary. You know, I got my porch kitties out there. You guys, my groundhog Phil just came back over the weekend. You know, you have the cardinals out there. You have the different bushes and trees that are sprouting. I'll have to take pictures later. The most beautiful flowers, like all of that gives me so much joy. Why would I put time into people like this?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time offline. Like
It's oxymoron, right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. YouTube and online is a small percentage of my life and my day. You know, seriously, and it's amazing, and it's so wonderful, and I love it.
Yep. Well, I hope you guys go to her channel. She's a really cool person. Again, I'll drop it in the description after we're done. But we are going to move on. And thank you, Alana. I really enjoyed that. We are going to move on to the narcissist. All right, I got to give y'all a heads up, though. This might get me in trouble. Me and Cindy spoke about it before the stream. I am going to try to react to Dr. Phil. So we are walking on thin ice here, everyone. Because there's a very high possibility that the stream could go down for a few minutes. But I'm just asking, if that happens, just hang on. Just stay in the chat, have a little chat with everyone, because it should come right back up in a couple minutes. But I'm going to try to stop every 30 seconds to give some commentary. Hold on, I got a cough. Oh my God, as much as I love the outside, y'all, these allergies are kicking my ass. When I tell you I woke up yesterday morning and I noticed I was feeling worse like Sunday night, and I looked outside Monday morning and everything was covered in like a layer of pollen, and I have not been the fucking same since. Ooh. Cindy, how do I do that? I don't know how to do that, Sophie. How do you just play audio?
Oh shoot.
That's above my wheelhouse, girl.
Are you on your laptop?
Yeah.
Because you can play the audio. So instead of sharing the screen, see if you play the audio while I hear it. Sorry, my son is super loud. He's home.
That's okay.
He got cut from work, so I'm muting every time I'm not talking. But see if it works. If you could just play the audio, because on your laptop you should be able to play it if you open it on YouTube without sharing the screen.
You know what? Hold on, I have an idea.
Okay.
Let me put up an overlay.
Oh, you could put over an overlay too. Yep, that's what I usually do.
Yeah. All right, I only have the 4 that StreamYard gives me, so let's just let me see. Welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Yes.
That's all I got for y'all. Oh no, what did I just do?
You share your screen, then put the overlay. You should.
No, okay, yeah, I got it.
Got it?
I do.
Okay.
I lost my comment section for a second.
Oh, and I'll tell you if we can hear it.
All right, so the reason that I really wanted to choose Dr. Phil, because I know everyone isn't the biggest fan. I will fully admit that I've always been a fan of Dr. Phil. I know that's super corny and loserish. Well, I don't care, whatever. But the reason I've chosen him, because they have a lot of different like stupid little cartoon like health videos you can watch. But Dr. Phil just has a way that he really, I don't want to say dumbs it down, but he takes it from like doctor level speak down to like your average person speak. So here we
He
go,
breaks it
Dr.
down
Phil.
in layman's
Yeah,
terms, right?
well, that's what he
Uh-huh.
always says too.
Uh-huh.
And I love that about him because, like I said last night, let's break it down like I'm five so I can truly take it in and try to understand. So, this is Dr. Phil. What is narcissistic personality disorder?
Needs to be the center of attention. And anybody else that's getting any attention is a threat. Anybody else that's getting laughs, anybody else that's getting focused on, anybody else that's of interest, we need to get rid of them because all the attention needs to be on the narcissist. They have a really pathological need for admiration. They need people to tell them how smart they are, how interesting they are, how special they are, show them how entitled they are. And if
30 seconds. I'm really going to try here. And that's, I mean, again, that is the narc supply. I think Moby said that earlier. And hey, Sophie, I don't know if I said hi to Sophie. Yeah, girl, I thought even before I read your comment, I'm like, oh shit, overlay. So yeah, that is what they depend on. That is what fuels them.
if that doesn't happen, they get very upset. They get very frustrated and they can go on the attack. And when we say a lack of empathy, these folks just don't have the ability to stand in somebody else's shoes. Somebody might show up late to work and you say, oh, you're never late. What happened? They might say, oh, just as I was leaving this morning, my dog got out and was hit by a car and killed my dog. What would be a normal reaction? People would go, oh my gosh, you must feel terrible. I'm so sorry. Not a narcissist. A narcissist doesn't have the ability to identify with that person's feelings. So they might say, well, you're here now. Or, what kind of dog? Well, you'll have to get another one. So anyway, what I was wanting to talk to you about, they have no ability to reflect feelings. They have.
Okay. And that's where on our end, that's where expectations come into play. Because as disgusting as that sounds to us layman people, whatever, normal quote unquote people, they don't have it. Like they are missing that component. I think it's in like your frontal lobe. It's one of like the last things that develop. I think your brain grows until you're like 25, 26. And that's one of the last things to form. If anyone in the chat, there's a name to it, but I can't think of the name. But that never happens for the narcissist. So we can't expect them to do something that they are physically not capable of doing. Does that make sense, Cindy?
Right. Yeah, and they can't, and him saying they can't empathize, they can't put themselves in the shoes of others. That is a really important point because there's no way that I could do a lot of these things because I put myself in the place of others. I don't talk about people's kids because I say, how would I feel if that was my kid being talked about? So that's why I've never talked about people's kids on here, never weaponized people's kids. Because as a mother, how would I feel if that was my kid being talked about? I would never mock somebody's loss because I've dealt with my own loss. So I know how that feels. So these are things that my brain doesn't allow me to do because I can empathize with people and put myself in their shoes. And these people have no boundaries, that nothing is sacred to them because they can't put themselves in the shoes of other people and they don't value themselves or their own family. That's the only logical explanation for me. Excuse me, because when nothing's sacred to you, nothing's off the tables as well.
No
And it's
boundaries.
bad, it's sick, it's sick. There's no limits to what people will say and do. And normal people don't think in terms like that. There always has to be some
Mm-hmm.
limits. It's dangerous if you have no limits. You're dangerous if you have no limits. And anybody around you can become a victim of yours. Eventually, they probably will, in one way or another.
Yep, you're exactly right. And Moby said they don't. Some can mirror emotions, though. And that's what, again, we'll delve into this as we go on, but that's what's scary because NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, is very underdiagnosed because they don't want, especially the insurance companies, do not want that diagnosis because there's no fix.
Right.
They can go to therapy, and maybe for some, like, therapy could be helpful, like fake it till you make it. But a lot of them go to therapy so they can figure out how to be even more manipulative. Okay, let this therapist teach me how to pretend to be empathetic. And they
Exactly.
get even more dangerous. My problem was always being a people pleaser because I was so empathetic that I was always like putting myself in the place of others and trying to think from their perspective. So I had to
Right.
stop that a long time ago.
I think it's important to have a balance, to be empathetic. That's if you don't have that, you lose one of the most important parts of your humanity. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes us human, and it's scary to me. And like you said, the fake it till you make it is terrifying because they can pretend, right? But only for so long. Only for so
Yep,
long
the
that
mask
mask
always
always
slips.
slips. It'll
Yep.
always slip, you know?
Yes, Jen and Barrett. And I'm glad you said that because it is really, I mean, there's certain like words and terms just over the years that just start to get like overly played out. And
Yes.
narcissist is definitely one of them.
Yes.
And you got to be careful. Like, I am trying to be careful there. That's why I'm trying to keep it to us listening, watching. I wish you could see Dr. Phil, but sorry. And just learning along the way because I'm not trying to overplay the word. Some people who aren't narcissist can have narcissistic traits,
Traits. Yes.
okay? But a narcissist is going to have a slew of them. Like,
Right.
I'm glad you said that, Jen and Barrett. And Moby, I can certainly guess how you know.
Hmm.
Yep, I'm sure you were put through hell. I couldn't even imagine.
Right.
They have no ability to identify with what that person might be experiencing at the time and be empathetic. Now, this is different from sympathetic. I'm talking about empathetic, where they can identify with that person's feelings, put themselves in their position for a minute, and understand how they might be feeling. They don't have that ability, which is why it's very difficult for them to ever have a close relationship with anybody. So we're talking about a sense of self-importance and entitlement, preoccupation with fantasies. They create this world of how special and how important they are. They believe that they're special. They believe that they're unique. They're very exploitive. They're very arrogant. So you'll see them doing something that you would think, oh my gosh, they must be embarrassed about this. They don't read the room. You might see them saying or doing something that anybody would be embarrassed to say or do, and everybody in the room is rolling their eyes. The narcissist doesn't see that because they don't read the room. They're not interested in anybody.
That's just so like it's so outside of what should be. It just blows my mind that there's actually people like this.
And I don't think it's that they don't read the room, they can't read the room. They lack the ability to read the room. Again, because they can't empathize. They can't put
Yep.
themselves in the place of other people, so they can't even look around and see what they're making other people feel. It's crazy to me. You know what I mean?
It's weird on YouTube, though. It's a little weird because, you're not in a room seeing people, feeling the energy, whatever. But like I said before, the slightest bit of, hey, this don't seem right in a live chat, that you're going to get the boot real fucking quick. So a lot of these people are, even when they probably don't agree, they don't
Yeah.
ever say anything because they don't want to be on the opposite side of that person's wrath.
Yep.
I mean, just look what happened when, we walk away.
Yep. Yep. And our trauma was used, JJ's daughter's trauma, loss, sorry, and my loss as fodder for the internet when we defended someone else's alleged loss. I'll say it like that because I'm not defending anybody anymore. And I just felt like there's no reason to even go there, but discussing my loss and lying about it when I never brought it to the internet ever is gross. But that's not, and I don't expect anything more from them. You know what I mean? But and sadly, that's just what happens. Sorry, my son. Oh my God.
As much as I can say, like, I'm really trying to lower my expectations, it's still shocking when people just straight lie and make up a fucking story. I will never, like, I can comprehend what Dr. Phil's saying, like, they don't have the ability to empathize, but to take it to straight, like, manufactured stories and lies, that's like that's like the malignant level of narcissism. And it's scary. No boundaries on top of it, that's a sign for disaster. Like one of my favorite people says, you're on a sinking ship and everyone's going down.
Yep.
Anybody's opinion. They just want to know that they're the focus of attention, and they assume everybody thinks they're as special and unique as they think they are. Again, they're very envious of anybody else that thinks they're special or has a unique perspective or point of view. Now, understand that when we're talking about these kind of people, they're very, very difficult to get along with unless you're willing to subordinate your interest, your needs to these people at all times. And if you're not, they're going to put you in your place. Now, stop and ask yourself, if you deal with people like this in your life, how often are you going to encounter somebody that is truly a narcissist?
And that's what I hope, because a lot of people, I wasn't educated on narcissists before, like, this last month rabbit hole I've gone down. And I hope that this can, like, help people recognize, like, oh my God, that totally sounds like my neighbor, my sister. Like, I hope that they can make the connection. And then as our lives go on, you're going to learn different tools and, like, ways to deal with them. Because, like I said, it's not as easy just to walk away sometimes. Like, some of these people are your family. Like, so you can learn how to deal with them to keep the escalation of shit down, is what I'm saying.
But you know what's crazy? I never really, I never really, I always thought narcissist or using the word narcissist was a buzzword. I never really delved into true narcissism. You know what I mean? Like, I always thought people just use that, oh, you're a narcissist, somebody that was like maybe cared about themselves too much or was too ambitious, or I never really looked into it in the clinical sense, in the true sense of a narcissist that is harmful. You know what I mean? You know how, like you said, people throw that word around, oh, she's a narcissist, he's a narcissist. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about self-preservation. We're not talking about being ambitious. We're talking about where it's harmful to other people, where you don't care about anybody else's feelings, only yours. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, guys, something's going on with my throat, but yeah, so it's eye-opening to be listening to this. You know what I mean?
It really is. I just added JJ. Hey, girl. Sorry, I didn't see you down there. But real quick, I wanted to say, like I said, it's very underdiagnosed, and there's reasons for that. Someone in my comment, because I did a couple of narcissist, like, shorts, and someone said that being a narcissist is rare. And I don't agree with that. I think there's a lot more. I mean, I'm sure it's not, like, overly abundant, but I think it's only rare because it's not always diagnosed. Like, the numbers don't match. But I feel like I've encountered a lot of narcissists in my life. And I feel like other people can if they didn't know what it was before, they can make that connection too. Oh, here we go. Moby says Surviving the Narcissist is a good website. All right, everyone check that out. Hey, JJ. Oh, no, she dropped. Hey, JJ.
Y'all hear me?
Yep, I hear you
You
now.
hear me? Okay, good. I'm sorry. I had to put my earbuds in, but I just wanted to come up and say that you're absolutely correct on all of this. Everything that has transpired has been absolutely awful. None of us have deserved the things that have happened at all. We are not those people. And if we were those people, maybe it could be a little more understandable in our heads. People say things and then suddenly that becomes fact. And that's just not the truth. Not at all. If people just come and ask us, we'll tell them. We have no problems with that. I mean, within reason, we'll tell them. I will say there have been some people that have come to me and I just can't answer questions right now. But there's a reason for that, And otherwise, yes, absolutely. Everybody knows me as somebody that speaks a lot and just says exactly how I feel. And I watch some of this shit go down and it's absolutely disgusting. And I have so many regrets. And this whole narcissism bullshit, I mean, my God, if it's almost to a T. And it's very sad that others have to live in that kind of lifestyle. Like, how do you deal, like if it's somebody that's a member of your family, like say a sister or a brother or whatever, like you can almost deal with it a little more because they don't live in your household. But how the hell does somebody deal with a narcissist that is living with them? And I'm not. My husband is the most empathetic person I know. And that's just the truth. And Cindy is one of my best friends. And my husband is still the most empathetic. He's just such a good fucking person. So I can't imagine living with that kind of nastiness and hate and misery. And I think, I mean, do I give a fuck? Honestly, not anymore. No,
I'm with you
girl,
there.
lay in your shit.
I can still, I'm not so far gone. I can still empathize. Did we lose her?
I don't know. Do we?
All right, JJ.
What the hell?
It was bound to happen sooner or later. I'll try to keep an eye out for her. But I can still empathize with people that do live with a narcissist, even if I don't, like JJ said, really give a fuck. I'm sure that's not easy, and you probably do everything you can to take the heat off of yourself. So if you can put it on other people, you're going to do that to save your own well-being.
Of course, you're going to try to turn their anger and all of that away from you so that you can have a little more peace. I can't imagine living with a narcissist either. It's bad, like you deal with people on YouTube that are narcissists, you can turn it off, right? When you get off of YouTube, you don't consume their content, you don't have to deal with it that way. But when someone's in your home, that's very different. You know what I mean? Now, if it's a person, let's say it's a person that is a good-hearted person and they're living with a narcissist, I can empathize with them 100%. But if it's an equally as manipulative and diabolical person, my empathy and sympathy has worn thin for your ass. Like, you're on your
Well,
own, deuces. You know
Cindy,
what I mean?
what's worse than one narcissist?
Two narcissists, damn it. Shit.
Could you imagine?
Tag teaming. Lord of mercy. No.
JJ, you back?
Yes. It is walking on eggshells. I can't.
Am I back?
Yes, you're
Yeah,
back.
you're back.
Sorry, my son called. It's always somebody, right? Always calling me. but I thought I was going to be able to go through an entire like stream and be up here for a few minutes without somebody fucking calling me and interrupting. But however, I just wanted to say I completely love your conversations. I love everything that you're bringing to the platform because it's invoking conversations and it's making people think. And it's making people think like maybe, you know, I'm not seeing things correctly. And I say that because that's happened with me when I've listened to some things and I'm like, wow, you know, I'm not some know-it-all. I don't claim to know it all. I don't. I know my field, my business, I know that very well, but know about narcissists and stuff? No, I don't. So we just go along and we try to get along with people for as much as we can. But I think we all need to, and this has been a lesson for me as well, is to follow our gut. When something doesn't feel right and you feel that you can't say something to a certain person, you probably shouldn't be messing with those people. Because I know I can go to any of my little group of friends and say that I don't approve of something or that I don't like something that they did, and it won't cause like World War III at all. So I don't know. I guess I just don't get, I don't understand narcissism, I suppose.
Well, you're not going to because you're not a narcissist.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Like, why do you want to hurt people just so that way you seem like the cool person? All narcissists, that's what they do, man. They want to be the person that's either seemed as like the best or the one to go to. They've got huge egos apparently, and I don't give a fuck about their ego. I just don't. I'm so done with a lot of this shit. I'm so done. And then certain parts of it I'm not done with yet. And you know,
But you know what I find to be an enigma? Somebody who's narcissistic, right, and egomaniac, but has nothing to back up said ego. You know what I mean? And that to me is a conundrum. I don't understand that. How can you have this massive ego and your ego is on a pile of shit? Like, what are we talking about? You know what I
right?
mean?
Like
I
the
always understood
people.
narcissism to be like you've accomplished all these things in your life, so
Yes.
your ego has grown. But the
Right.
narcissistic people I'm seeing on YouTube have none of that shit. I don't
Right. You
understand
got to
it.
wonder if they ever even graduated middle school. I mean, some of
Right.
it's truly like that. And that's what I thought too. Narcissism is somebody who has accomplished a lot so they
Mhm.
could, they're, I don't know, feel like they're better than other people.
Right.
I mean, I can never understand that. I don't get it. Certain people have different, we all have different minds, we have different backgrounds, we have different everything. So there's a lot that goes into play of whether someone is successful or not. And there are some people that we're not even talking about success. We're talking about narcissists that have zero success and
But maybe success
zero
to
fucking
them,
anything in their life.
but JJ, maybe success to them isn't determined by normal societal standards. Maybe success to them is trying to ruin people's lives, right? Trying to get people fired, trying to destroy
Maybe.
families.
It
Maybe that's
is.
what
Mm-hmm.
success means to them. And
They
they
need
think that
that.
that's
You're
succeeding.
probably
Yeah.
right. You're probably right. I
Hmm.
didn't look at it that way. Yeah. And that's
Hmm.
why these conversations are so important because I never looked at it like that. And you're probably right. They probably
Yeah.
consider that like best thing they've ever done in their life is they're the king or queen of YouTube that can fuck with people and go into their lives and destroy their lives because they don't like something that was said.
Hmm.
Well, you're probably right. It probably is that.
Right. And maybe Moby, is there such a
Sad.
thing as a is there such a thing as a delusional narcissist? Like, you know what I mean? A narcissist that is so delusional that they think they're so accomplished, and again, because our morals are not all the same, right? So my values as a kid were opposite. I've said this many times. I was taught opposite values as a kid. And it wasn't until I was taken into foster care and then moved in with my dad that I realized that those were like anti-morals, you know what I mean? And then my father and my stepmom instilled in me real morals. You don't steal, we don't lie, we don't cheat. So maybe those were the values that they learned and became normal to them. I'm trying to understand genuinely, you know what I mean?
I mean, just from like the little bit of that I've listened to over the past few weeks, it something was missing from childhood. Like they either had like a lot of times a parent that was a narcissist, actually. Like there's a lot of times where you got children will be narcissists when their parents were. The children spent so much time trying to get the validation of their parent who constantly put them down or one up them. You know, that seems to be like a common denominator as far as like being an adult narcissist. Now, I don't know if there's a term for the delusional narcissist. There should be, though. But that would fall in like the extreme malignant narcissist territory. You're going to
Got
do
it.
whatever. You were going to lie. You were going to cheat. You're going to steal. Anything to tear someone down. Like apparently, like when you're that far gone, it takes over to the point like they have to destroy you. They have to. And they do that to validate themselves. Oh,
Right.
this is a decent, happy person. If I can destroy them, I am all powerful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right. You're right.
I know, Moby.
Ew, it is so delusional because it's not true. Or, you have people that will try to make it. It's very different when you have people in the same family coming at certain people, right? And they want to make you involved until they don't want you involved. And then suddenly everything is your fault. Fuck out of here, man. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not. I'm just not anymore. I won't be gaslit. I know exactly the sequence of events, and I'm not going to deal with lies anymore. And if anybody has any questions at all, please inbox me, ask me. I will tell you the truth and show you the proof almost every time I have proof. But again, I don't go live or put it all out there because who wants these freaking problems? And honestly, what does it really matter? Because a lot of the shit that is said has nothing to do with YouTube. It has to do with people's real lives. And when you don't want that mentioned over and over and over and over again, you don't you talk about it. You don't want it mentioned,
Well,
And,
the number one thing that a narcissist wants is a reaction.
Yeah.
So when you take that supply away, it's not going to be a quick fix. It's actually going to increase their irritation for a while.
Oh, we've seen that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. As we go over, like everyone's going to be able to make connections and correlate it to something in their real life. I'm so glad we have people here that have lived and dealt with actual narcissism. That's awesome. All right, let's finish up Dr. Phil.
Now, there are people that, kind of think they're special and they may kind of be show-offs or whatever. A lot of people are that way sometimes. When I'm talking about a narcissistic personality disorder, I'm talking about a consistent pattern of behavior that you'll see over and over again. Not occasionally, not they just have a day where they just kind of think they're all hot stuff. I'm talking about a pattern of behavior across time. Now, these people tend to gaslight you if you try to call them on their behavior. In fact, I always tell people that ask me about it, they say, look, I put up with all this that I'm going to put up with. So, Doc, I'm just going to call them out. I'm just going to confront them and get in their face and let them know you're not special. You're not unique. You're taking advantage of me, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. So what do you think, Doc? Don't you think I should do that? You know what I always tell people? Don't bother. Don't bother. First off, they already know what they're doing. You're not going to tell them anything. So if you're doing that, you're doing it for you, not for them, because they're not going to change based on what you say to them. What they're going to do is gaslight you. You're going to hear a lot of statements like, you're the narcissist. I never said that. I'm not angry. I'm not taking advantage of you. I'm not that way. You're that way. Look at you. You're judging me. They're going to
Sound familiar?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes.
Do you understand why you don't give him a reaction now? Because it doesn't matter. And he is right. It's for, if you do that, it's for like what I did earlier. It's for selfish reasons. It's because I want to show the people who say they haven't seen it, or the people kind of teetering or don't, haven't really picked, like if this is right or true or not. And that's selfish on my part. I don't owe anyone that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, doing the reaction, it's only going to cause more grief. I mean, I'm to the point now, whether I'm silent or whether I speak, it doesn't matter. I mean, everyone can see that because I've been fucking silent. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
So again, I will correlate what I've been through with what we're reacting to. And if anyone has a problem with that, fuck you.
Exactly. And I think it's, again, how long have I said the truth is not what some people are seeking? So it doesn't matter. A lot of people feel like they're lying on me. I have to combat the lies. It doesn't matter. They know that they're lying. Just like he said, they're aware of their behavior. They know that they're blatantly lying on you. So you and you coming and responding and trying to defend yourself against these ridiculous, blatant lies only feeds their ego, feeds into their feeling of self-importance. Like, I got her to come and give more information about her life, stuff that she never wanted to talk about online. So you're just feeding their ego and you're fueling the fire. And again, the truth is not what they're seeking. And anybody that is truly watching will look at it and be like, those are blatant lies. You know what I mean? So again, who are you trying to convince? People that don't care, people that the truth doesn't matter to them anyway. It defeats the purpose, and all you're doing is engaging in a battle that doesn't matter.
Well,
Seriously.
you're engaging, and you're also, like you said, feeding the fire, because when you do that without even realizing, you'll give like little tidbits of more information, or it's basically little things to say, hey, this is what hurt me, blah, blah, blah. So you're literally giving them their own plan, because they are now going to pick, oh, that hurt her, I'm going to do this. And, you are giving them what they want.
You've shown them your weakness, and they're going to pick at it. Let them know what your Achilles heel is, and they are going to keep directing all of their attacks there. So
Correct.
keep them guessing.
And
don't let them know what bothers you at all.
correct. And these people who do this, I'm sorry, but I don't subscribe to any bullshit street law of not telling, or nah, bitch, I pay 911, okay? I pay my taxes, and I will absolutely go to the fucking popo. And I
Me too.
the
Call the
fuck have.
popo, ho.
So do not play with me. I'm telling y'all, don't play with me, and do not call me a liar, because I'm not a liar, and I have plenty of proof, emails, everything to say that what I said is 100% the truth. Stop fucking playing with me. Stop it.
But that's what they want, Gigi. They want you to show your hand. Don't you dare, girl.
No, I
Don't
ain't
let them
showing
see it
shit.
coming. Don't let them see it coming.
Nope. I ain't showing shit. I've already said that I've contacted law enforcement, because I fucking did. I did. Sure the fuck did, in several places, actually. All right? So yes, I'm the big old pussy of the world. That's me. I'm a big old hairy 70 vagina because I called the popo. Sure, the
You don't live by the
fuck
code of
did.
the streets, though. You
No, I
don't live by the
don't.
code
I'm
of the
sorry. I'm a normal, law-abiding
streets.
citizen, and if you
Right.
fuck with me, I'm calling the popo. Okay.
It's hilarious.
That's all.
You need to get villains merch. It says "Call the Popo Ho." I love that. That
Yes,
sweater.
right? Like, I mean,
I don't know.
understand that.
I personally like being underestimated, so they
Yeah.
can continue to
Oh,
call me a liar. I don't give a fuck. I know we all know what the truth is. So
we have
Doesn't
been
bother me.
heavily underestimated. Heavily, okay? And if, never mind. Just go ahead. Never mind. I'm not gonna
Okay.
say nothing.
okay.
Play the victim role and attack you, and before it's over, they're going to be in a victim role and telling you that you're the one with the problem. And trust me, they have more staying power than you do. They will never give it up. These folks don't respond to therapy very well at all. About a third of them that get into therapy, they'll get up and walk out in a rage as soon as you start to take their inventory. About a third of them will find something about the therapist they don't like, and they'll start criticizing and trying to get into a battle of wills, try to win a debate rather than learn anything. And, the remainder, they might try to listen for a period of time. Some might get some better, but I can tell you, generally speaking, I think some of these people actually get worse in therapy than better.
All right, I'm just stopping to, 30-second it, but this is the
use.
part that I was trying to explain earlier that people need to listen to, because this is what most of them are going to do in therapy.
Okay.
Because the therapist tries to point out to them what their deficiencies are, such as a lack of empathy. And they say, what do you mean? And they might use the example that I used of what happens when somebody comes in and says their dog got run over. So what they're doing is basically teaching the narcissist how to mimic empathy.
Holy
So all
shit.
they've done is make the narcissist more dangerous, because now the narcissist at least knows how to mimic the first layer of empathetic conversation or behavior. And that's why I say they've actually made them worse. They now have given them the tools to at least hide their narcissism a little bit better.
That's crazy, right?
Crazy. That's crazy. And that's so true. It makes so much sense. Yep. You've helped them put on this shield to break through the barrier of maybe somebody who is a little aware of narcissistic traits, right? You're helping them camouflage themselves. Damn. Wow. Yeah, that's deep.
Yep. So I hope that helped everyone. Quick
No, that really
overview
did. Wow, that's
from one of my
amazing.
favorite people.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's my
All right,
mind.
I gotta. Yeah, that one shocked me, because I've been down a rabbit hole. I did not know that.
No,
I mean, you think therapy, like, I have always said therapy can't hurt. Well, damn if I was misinformed.
Right? Shit. I had no idea. I had no idea, man.
Yeah.
That's-
All right, so I think we have enough time to get through one more. It's only like 4.5 minutes, and we are going to go over four types of narcissists you'll encounter in life.
Okay.
And this is like one of those, I don't want to call it stupid, but little cartoon things.
Mhm.
And again, I'll link it in the description.
That there are different types of narcissists. When we think of a narcissist, we think of someone who is self-absorbed and has little to no empathy for others. That's not all narcissists. In this video, we will cover 4 different types of narcissists. This video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. With that said, here are some different types of narcissists.
All right, I'm just going to slow that down a tiny bit. I'm okay with it, but I do want people to absorb it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
give me a second. Okay.
Number 1, the grandiose narcissist. Have you ever encountered a person who is charming, self-absorbed, entitled, aggressive, and authoritarian? You feel that they are overly callous, aggressive, and think highly of themselves without trying to put themselves in other people's shoes. They're also argumentative and want to win in every altercation or in a slight misunderstanding. They are classified as grandiose narcissists. They portray the classical presentation of narcissistic personality disorder according to the criteria listed in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM. They often seek validation from outward sources. When they are in a romantic relationship, grandiose narcissists try to obtain power by game playing. As parents, they view their children as a narcissistic supply or an extension of themselves in order to obtain validation from other people. A grandiose narcissist is
That's another one that shocked me. And I can think back to my own childhood, and some of like a couple of my good friends had narcissistic parents.
Right.
And it's like you're always in competition with your own child.
Yeah. I think that Lori
How,
fits that description. Lori Jones.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Mhm. She competes with her own children. Hmm. Her own daughters. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, I don't know. And just as a, mother, parent,
Yeah.
I
It
just
helps
couldn't
keep that
imagine,
person
like,
to that son.
yeah.
Mhm.
No, you're right though. I mean, I just couldn't imagine being in competition
No.
with my own daughter.
No.
Like,
Never. Never. I never want
wow.
that to compete with one of my children. I want my children to excel and do way better than I ever did, or dreamt I could. I want to root them on, be their biggest cheerleader, not try to sabotage my kid. Like, I can't. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's
I should have
crazy.
said this in the last video. I don't know if you guys watch Dr. Phil, but he's talked a little bit about that he grew up with a narcissistic father. Someone
Mm-hmm.
as accomplished as Dr. fucking Phil never heard from his narcissist father, "I'm proud of you."
Wow. That makes me extremely sad. Wow.
That's how much they are who they are.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No.
extroverted and displays overt expressions of superiority and entitlement. Number 2, the vulnerable narcissist. The vulnerable narcissist is a person who appears unapproachable, unfriendly, or cold, negative and unassertive. A person who is both high in neuroticism and self-centered will likely worry about their perceived superior status. They thrive on attention and accolades. They tend to give hints at how hard they've been working or how much they've achieved, yet look puzzled and perhaps even become astonished when they receive acknowledgement for their hard work or significant achievements. They have a self-image that is divided into a positive self-image with excessive pride and a negative self-image that is filled with shame. When they receive constructive criticism and gentle feedback, they become hypersensitive. Receiving only positive feedback gives them the ability to bury the negative, shame-filled self-image. When these individuals receive feedback, they perceive them as an attack on their character. And this activates powerful feelings of self-disgust and self-blame and unavoidable shame. Vulnerable narcissists also blame other people and circumstances for their mistakes. They rarely accept responsibility for their actions. Number 3, the communal.
All right, we're about to go into the communal narcissist, but I am telling you, the vulnerable narcissist are like I'm correlating it to YouTube. I've seen quite a few of them. In my
Yeah.
non-professional opinion, it is the people that are always crying in live chats. And anytime they come in, there's a complaint about something, and they're always trying to drive the attention of like the creators live to themselves. They want that creator to read their comment. They want the people in the chat going, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." That is your vulnerable narcissist. I know
So
you've seen a
isn't
couple
it
of
like,
them too, Cindy.
yeah, where they do this, it's this dual thing, right? Where they all feel bad for me, and give me sympathy, but then also um feed my ego. Like, oh, I don't, whatever, to fishing for compliments, where they fish for compliments, and then, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like, they do this two things where they have to come in and take over the whole chat. You know what I mean? With it has to, as soon as they come in, they want to be welcome. Everybody has to say hello to them. I mean, and that's normal. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Everyone should be greeted when they come into chats. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about somebody who feels upset if the whole room doesn't stop. And I mean room as in the chat, the
Mm-hmm.
whole room doesn't stop and acknowledge their presence. And if they say, oh, they'll let you know with the subtle, sometimes not very subtle hints that they're going through something. And your whole now, whatever your topic was, has to be changed and revolve around them. That is common, more common than and again, I'm trying to be careful because I don't want people to feel like they can't come in and share if they're having a bad day or going through
No,
something.
there's a
No,
difference.
there's a big difference. These are patterns of behavior. We're talking about patterns of behavior. They do it every time, everywhere they go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Every time. It's not just, you're going through something and you need some support. That is what a community should be. But I'm talking about the energy vampires. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to move on to the communal narcissist.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to correlate this one too.
Mhm.
Communal narcissist. Have you ever encountered a person that was kind on the surface, but they're mean once you got to know them? If you have, then perhaps you're actually dealing with a communal narcissist. On the surface, a communal narcissist emphasizes warmth, agreeableness, and relatedness. They want to uphold an image of the most trustworthy and supportive person by the public. They try to gain this by portraying an image of friendliness and kindness. It's not wrong to actually be kind and friendly towards others. However, the key point here is the communal narcissist's motives are grandiosity, esteem, entitlement, and power. And number 4, the malignant narcissist. Narcissism exists.
I
Girl,
can think of
I was
quite a
hoping you were
few
gonna
people
pause.
in my head,
Yes. Girl.
right?
Yes.
Well, I'd say a lot of people like that I've encountered on YouTube
Uh-huh.
more so fall under the communal and the vulnerable.
No, as soon as I already had a name in my head when I heard that. Yeah, where they pretend, they suck you in, where you think that they're just so supportive and kind and funny and all the things and so supportive. Share their channel, let's do this for them, and then it's like all to so that they can be this amazing person that is doing all these things. It's not genuine. You know what I mean? There's strings attached. Wow.
Yes, it's like a love bombing, but they do it with everyone new, and they're trying to reel you in for whatever their own benefit is.
Yeah.
And they will
Yeah.
flip on you on a fucking dime and
What?
use everything you ever told them in confidence against you.
Yes, ma'am. And throw
Yep.
it back in your face. Anything they've
Yep.
ever done, any support they've ever shown you. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right. So we're moving on to the grandfather of narcissists, the malignant
Yes. Yes.
narcissist.
Oh my goodness gracious.
There we go.
And number 4, the malignant narcissist. Narcissism exists on a spectrum, and at the extreme end lies the malignant narcissist. This kind of narcissist is paranoid, immoral, cruel, aggressive, and sadistic. By creating chaos and taking people down, they feel pleasure. They may not be necessarily grandiose, extroverted, or neurotic, but the characteristics that this kind of narcissist has are closely associated with psychopathy, the dark triad, and antisocial personality disorder. With the rise of social media, we also find the simultaneous rise of the label narcissist. It is turned into a buzzword. Therefore, refrain from labeling, as it can actually be demonizing. Of course, when a truly narcissistic person receives an accurate diagnosis from a licensed professional, it will actually be helpful as it sheds light on their symptoms and gives them an opportunity to access a community of similar people so that they're on the road to recovery. Also, remember narcissism.
I don't know that that's good. I just think of a
Yeah, no.
community of
Nope.
narcissists. That seems
You giving them a whole crew?
no,
You giving them a whole crew? No.
no.
No, thank you. Isolate their ass. Don't give them a whole crew of narcissists and malignant
I can
narcissists. Mm-mm.
I can understand like the they do realize, like, is something wrong with me? And like going and getting a diagnosis and being like, okay, like this whole time, yeah, there was something wrong and I can work to fix it. But I think more so than not, they'll just use it to their advantage. And like I said, go to therapy to learn how to screw people over more with being, wearing more of a mask.
And in my opinion, they never want to seek help because they realize that it's usually somebody else close to them that urges them to seek therapy. Listen, something's going on with you. You need to go see a therapist, like, or we're going to break up, or, you know what I mean? I'm kicking you the hell out. I don't think that a malignant narcissist would voluntarily go to therapy unless they knew it was a way to manipulate and be able to gain tools to be better at it. Otherwise, I think it's always somebody else, again, urging them or giving them an ultimatum to go to therapy because again, they're sadistic. They enjoy harming others, hurting others. The misery that their actions and their words cause other people. I don't think they want to change that until they're confronted by somebody else who they have no choice but to at least pretend that they're trying to work on it. And then they, again, in turn, which helps them gain a greater tool to be better at it. Oh my God.
Yeah, more
Scary.
control is what it leads to.
Yeah. Hmm. Yes,
And
similar to their
that's
own
what it's
island
all
mind.
about.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
I would venture to say, again, I'll have to repeat this for the naysayers, not a professional, okay? But I would venture to say that
No.
most narcissists do not know that they are narcissist. Most of them
No.
probably don't go, "Oh, I need help." Most of them think they're God. They're perfect.
Yes. Yes, everybody else is the problem.
Yep.
Why are you not bending a knee to me? Why are you not seeing my greatness and wanting to apologize and realize that even though I called you every name in the book and talked about all your traumas, the problem is you, girl. You shouldn't have had that trauma. You shouldn't have suffered that loss. Don't worry about me talking about it in the most vulgar way possible. You're the problem. Fuck. Okay. I got it. You psycho.
Exactly that. I also this really helped me understand. They said also remember narcissism exists on a spectrum. And
Yes.
that really helped me because, again, as it's well known now, I have an autistic child. And I've always viewed, of course, autism is a spectrum. So it really helped me when I started learning about narcissism. When I don't even think it was this video, it was another video that mentioned it being on a spectrum. And that really helped me just see it better.
Yeah. And spectrum, the word is now utilized a lot to explain autism, right? But spectrum has been around for years, right? There's a spectrum of colors on the, you know what I mean, on a rainbow, and it just means to go from one level to the next or one side to the next. So I think that these words, when we get more familiar with them, help us to understand other things, like you said, because you're, of course, very, very familiar with autism because of your child. So when you hear a word utilized in another situation or another category, like with narcissists, it helps you understand and, you know what I mean, be able to absorb the information better. Gauging, okay, so we start off slowly with the lesser of all evils in narcissism, and then you get to the malignant narcissist, who's like the grandfather of narcissists. You know what I mean? So I think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's helpful. It's helpful to look at it like that.
Yep. All right, we got 30 seconds left.
Okay, okay.
Narcissism exists on a spectrum. And some of us may have that narcissistic trait in us, and that's actually all right. The most important point here is to be self-aware and to have the drive to change yourself for the better. Did you find this video valuable? Tell us in the comments below. Please like and share it with
Yes.
friends that might.
Yes, I definitely did.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I will link
And
that video
I'm not
in
a
the
narcissist.
description.
Right. I don't think the world revolves around me. Actually, I prefer it if the world doesn't revolve around me, you know? I'm more of a team player.
Yeah, I'm not. I've never been like a person that wanted to be the center of attention. That's never been who I am.
Well,
I
I
prefer to
did.
stay on the outskirts.
I did when I was in dance clubs and stuff. I would go to the middle of the dance floor, but that's very different. I like to be
You
the center of
narcissist.
attention. Sheesh.
Well, I hope this was helpful to everyone.
It was. Wow. Yeah, it really was to me. Thank you, Bliss.
I mean, it's only going to get better because next week we're going to be reacting to Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that is?
Nope.
All right, girl. Well, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I like to watch. I don't watch. Bliss doesn't, she does send me if I want to watch it, but I like to watch it through fresh eyes. Like, I like to just hear it for the first time so that you hear how I really feel about it. And I just prefer to do it that way. And I'm like
Yeah.
in awe right now. I'm in shock. Thank you. I really, wow. I'm gonna go and research some more, Bliss. Seriously, I learned a lot today. I really did.
Well, that makes me happy to hear. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad there's
Yeah,
people that
thank
are
you all for
enjoying
being
it.
here. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll get reacted to. Not really, because
No.
they never show it. So whatever.
Yeah, at least react, show the damn video. Nope. Nope. That's hilarious to me. That's hilarious to me.
Well, then
But
that would show our words, and
that's true. They
they
can't have
can't.
that.
No,
Can't
they
have
can't
that.
risk their people actually being like, "Huh."
That
They
makes
they made a
sense.
point there.
Right. That
God
makes sense.
forbid.
No, but we're gonna interpret and tell you what they said. Nope,
Yep.
I don't do that. I go and I listen for myself. Nobody's gonna interpret anything for me. Sorry, I want to hear it for myself and make up my own damn mind. That's great.
And
But
it's funny because again, I get sent stuff, and I got sent a screenshot of a subscriber in someone's chat saying Bliss needs to keep so and so's name out of her mouth. And I'm like, what the fuck? I
what?
haven't said that person's name in months, haven't responded, haven't reacted. And then you see comments like that in a live chat. Like,
Yeah, because they
what's
do no
wrong with you
research.
people?
They're followers. They're
Yep.
extreme followers. And those are the people that'll turn on you in an instant. You'll be in a chat today and they're like, hey, selfie, oh my God, it's so good to see you. The creator, right after I leave, is like, fuck that bitch. Tomorrow she's like, oh my God, she's the devil. She was always the devil. She probably eats children. Like, what?
I
How?
mean, that's exactly what happened to a lot of us. I mean,
Yes.
literally from 12 hours later, it was
Yes.
not just them, it was the chat. Then people started coming up from the chat, started coming up on panel. Like, it
Panels?
was
Yes. What the
instantaneous.
fuck?
And keep in mind, you guys, I hadn't said a fucking thing. I hadn't said
Nope.
anything.
Nope. Nope.
It's
It's
just, it's all
crazy.
so wild.
It's
But
hilarious though. I laugh
if
now.
y'all's eyes got open today, just wait till next week, because I really hope, if you guys don't know who Dr. Jordan Peterson is, you are going to see how
Yes, pork
valuable
chop.
and intelligent he is.
Hmm.
So,
Pork chop. We remember. We didn't. We've seen it, and we should have learned from them. That's what I'm saying. I could never apologize enough for not not seeing it back then. So yeah.
oh man. All right. Well,
It's fucking Teresa again.
oh, pork chop is so many people. I'll have to show you, Cindy. She made like actually, I think it's in her bio on Twitter now. I am pork
Mm.
chop. I am not so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so, or so.
Well, I'm gonna bust their bubble. I'm pork chop.
Well, they even got accused of being Bobby the cat.
No way. That's craziness. That's crazy.
It just
Yeah,
cracks me up. And I'm glad pork chop finds it amusing too.
yeah, that's all you can do, pork chop, is laugh at it now, because if you let it get to you, listen, remember who it's coming from. That helps me tremendously. to keep in mind who these people are that is saying it, and then I say, bendito. What do you say, Bliss?
Bless your
Bless their
heart.
hearts. Exactly. Pobrecito, bendito. That's it.
Always consider the source, y'all. And I'm going to end
Yes.
it because I got to get my kids soon. Thank you
Yes.
guys for
Love
coming.
you.
And
Thank
love
you
you,
all. Love you,
girl.
Bliss.
JJ,
Bye.
thank you for coming up. And I will see you next week. Probably back to our regular morning time. I had to go into work for a couple hours today, so probably be 10:45 next week. So have a good day, everyone. Thank you guys for coming.